continue. So we're at the shrine up in the mountains, right? Or we were, and there was a murder. And Elise Dunham was killed, who is a spirit channeling / kids book author type person, who I think is probably a little bit of a con artist and didn't really want, or maybe not a con artist, just unrequited fame. And I've just got a feeling that's where it's going. I'm doing good, thank you very much. Dead exhausted from, for some reason, oh dear. But it was an okay day, good. As long as it's not exhaustion from a crap day, that's what matters. So yeah. But she got stabbed by supposedly the sword of Amy Faye, the big gold, not the gold sword, the weird green one with all the ripply bits on it. But we proved that that wasn't the actual murder weapon because of the way the wound is. You know, that you couldn't just pull that sword out clean. And we shot down the testimony of the sister that runs the place, Bikini. Yeah, and then I think now we're getting Larry on the stand. Because there's a big question about the snowmobile. The fact that it couldn't possibly have been at the shrine at when the murder happened. It had been taken before the murder. So there's no way that our suspect could have possibly made an escape on that snowmobile. And that's where we're at. So now we need to get Larry in here, who said he saw something amazing but didn't tell us what. And we've got to pry it out of him. Oh, and that's right, and we're playing as Edgeworth. We're not playing as Phoenix. Because Phoenix fell off the bridge. Maya's still trapped across the gorge, by the way. The bridge burned down in the middle, and the inner temple, you know, up in on the right side there. Maya's still over there. She was training when the bridge was apparently struck by lightning and burned. And we think Larry was at the Heavenly Hall waiting for Iris to show up because he sent her the blackmail letter, but it was really just to lure her there so he could not in a creepy way at all express his love for her. You know, because that's the great way to get somebody's attention when you're in love with them. You know, send them a blackmail letter. I know that's how, you know, I ended up married. Huh? God. Larry's an idiot. I thought he was just a special kind of person, but he's just an idiot. He really is a dumbass. So, yeah. My volume's really loud. Oh my god. Down a wee bit. She claims she was in her room as well. I think somebody else did this. Somebody else has clearly done it, and I'm still going with the theory that Iris isn't Dahlia Hawthorne, but she's probably Dahlia Hawthorne's, like, unknown sister who was given away as a child, like a twin sister. Or both of them were, and Dahlia Hawthorne was adopted by the Hawthorne family and never knew it, or something like that, so... yeah, there's something going on there that we're not sure about. Oh, and Pearl is missing. We don't know where Pearl is. I'm hoping she's over where Maya is. I hope she just went to go see Maya before she got started and got stuck over there. Because she was supposed to be reading children's books with Elise in her room. Because she's a big fan of Elise's work. You know, so... oh my god. Exactly, yeah, it would fit. It reminds me of, like, the last time we had a murder that was all around this mystical stuff. It was that doctor that got shot supposedly by Maya, but it wasn't really Maya. You know, that she was supposedly channeling the spirit of a dead woman. But it turned out that the woman who supposedly died in the car crash, the nurse for this doctor who had ruined his reputation with allegations against him, but she ended up taking the fall for malpractice and all that kind of stuff. And she was in the car with her sister, and supposedly the sister was alive. Turns out the person who was the sister was actually the woman who was thought to be murdered. And they reconstructed her face from a picture of the sister, thinking that's who she was. And it was like, oh my god. And she lived her life after that. She was actually the nurse, and it was the sister who died. And it was like, what the fuck? So I'm waiting for that old switcheroo to happen. So anyway, let's crack on. Oh my god, we can't talk all day because we've got to get through this before the end of the stream, and I don't want to be streaming until nearly midnight. We'll see how we go. We'll see how far in we are when we get to like 7 o'clock and go from there, because I really don't want to run over today. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm not really sure what to say. Iris, we only have 20 minutes. There are 2 things which I need to ask before we reconvene. Alright, I'll help you any way I can. First, about that night. You really didn't go to the inner temple, correct? The last witness claims to have met and talked with you at the training hall. Either you or Sister Bikini is lying. Mr. Edgeworth, it's just as I said yesterday. Until the incident occurred, I was in my own room in the Hazakura Temple. Very well. The second thing then. That night, the temple snowmobile was used in between the time Sister Bikini returned to the main hall and when she bore witness to the murder. Yeah, she came back to the main hall from about 10, so sometime from about 20 past 10, the snowmobile was still there. The snow stopped at 10 to 11 at night. But the snowmobile had to have been gone by then, otherwise its departure tracks would still be there. There were no tracks going away, there were only tracks coming back. So that means it came back after 10 past 11, possibly, you know, just before the crime. Maybe even brought whoever committed the crime there to cover their footprints, you know? Which means the murderer was still there after the fact. They didn't have footprints going away, there was only Phoenix's footprints going to the bridge to go to the phone. And instead of calling for help, the bridge was burning down, Maya was across the bridge and he tried to get across it to save her, bless him. So, she returned to the main hall when she bore witness to the murder sometime between 10:30 and 11 that night. Were you the one who used the snowmobile? There's only one key for the snowmobile. The only person who could have used it, she's been very evasive, was me. That doesn't answer the question. So it was you. But why? What made you go out to the Dusky Bridge? Or did she go to the Dusky Bridge? Well, the snowmobile came back from the Dusky Bridge, so I guess she had to have. That's where it was parked. I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. Here we go. Oh god, there's like... Oh, frigging hell, this is the 5 locks we came to earlier. Iris, I can't tell you about that yet. Yet? Not until her safety is confirmed. Oh? The safety of the Acolyte. Oh, the Acolyte. She's talking about Maya? Yeah. Why can't she tell us if she used the snowmobile until we know that Maya's safe? What has she got to do with it? Iris, look me in the eye and tell me the truth. Did you kill Elise Dunham? No matter who or what may come, I could never take her life. As I thought, no psyche locks. Very well. It's my job to get to the truth. You'll discover this for yourself soon enough. Oh god, what if Maya did it? While channeling. Oh god. That would suck. After all the allegations she's had, being accused of murder twice, and getting off twice, and then being kidnapped once, and oh. Alright. So we have a whip counter. You'll notice the icons changed as well. So, yeah. Yeah, we've got a little whip icon now instead of the coffee icon, but in case Godot comes back, we've got a coffee counter still. How about that? Oh, it's going to be good. Alright, court will now reconvene, eh? Getting the Canadian in early. Ms. Von Karma, where is the witness? During the break, a man was detained for suspicious behaviour in the gallery. That'll be Larry. Suspicious behaviour. He was sketching something very intensely. Oh yeah, right. I was just thinking, suspicious behaviour, it's suspicious to sketch things, then I remembered apparently we live in a police state now, where anything is suspicious, so yes. Dare I ask what the witness was sketching when he was detained? He drew a terrifying woman, armed with a demonic face and a vicious whip. Oh, Von Karma, I didn't realise you were Larry's type. Congratulations or commiserations, I'm not sure which. I can only presume that... Oh, Jesus, there we go. Let's start moving. Anyway, it's time to drag this pathetic excuse for an artist before the court. We're not counting those types of whips, just when she hits somebody. Loris Dunham, I hope you're ready. Get in here. Get over here. It would seem that whip is going to see plenty more use today. Poor Larry. Oh god, man. Ow, oh, shit. Literally getting out the gate. It's just like, let's just get this over with. Whack! Your sketch is in contempt of this court. Hey! I was just artistically rendering. Ow! Fucking hell, I'm gonna be quick with this button today. You tried to run away from the bailiff who was trying to hand you a subpoena, correct? Look, I'm nothing but a fledgling artist training in the mountains. I'm only down here in the city because I ran out of green paint. Well, to use the technical term for the colour, Viridian. Larry, this isn't an art store, now is it? I know, I graduated junior high, okay? Look, art is all about working in the field, isn't it? Working in the fields? Yeah, he's not talking about canola. It's fine. I presume he wanted to say field work, I hope. That's it. Thanks, buddy. That's what a junior high graduation gives you. That's the limit. It's kind of sad that I was able to understand this mangled train wreck of a sentence. I just happened to stop in here and we found a wonderful new model. Here it comes, dude. So see, I've got nothing to do with this trial at all. I expect all of your faces to be red when you realize this mistake. Bright red. Or, to use the technical term, Crimson Lake. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh god, no! 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 Not that fast. I can't tap that fast. We're gonna have to stop at 31. I'm pretty sure that's what we got. Stop your pathetic babbling and testify like a man. Refrain from whipping me, Ms. Von Karma. Cross-whipping is as bad as cross-checking. Witness. That was all your fault. Testify. Now. This is too much for me. I love his eyes when he goes into that cry mode with the little stars in them like... Peer into the void. I was at the lodge out in the mountains looking up at the stars that night. I walked to the bridge a number of times, but... Oh, there we go. I didn't see a snowmobile. I didn't see anyone at the bridge that night either. The girl I was waiting for didn't show up. My teacher died on me. I'm all alone now, aren't I, Edgy? Witness, please refrain from talking directly to the lawyers during your testimony. I'm just a nobody, nothing but a small, worthless man, aren't I? Yes. And why wasn't I asked for my name and occupation or anything else? Oh, we know you by now, dude. Mr. Edgeworth, this man seems to have quite a severe inferiority complex. He's recently been the cause of numerous incidents. I think he's finally realized for himself just how much of a nuisance he's been to other people. Yeah, that's right. I'm behind everything, every case. I told you he's the Moriarty of this game. Watch out, okay? Just touching me will make you eternally unhappy. I'm bad news. I'm trouble. Well then, let us proceed with your cross-examination. With no touching, thank you. We can delve into other details at a later time. Was out at the lodge in the mountains looking up at the stars all night. So he's talking about the Heavenly Hall. Whatever is the matter, Mr. Edgeworth? This one single statement is so full of contradictions. For a moment there I thought I was going to collapse. So, witness? Any idea as to where these contradictions in your testimony lie? Depending on your answer, I may stay my whip. Oh, you better get ready for a whipping, dude. It's happening live. Okay, give me a minute. Well, it was snowing that night, so I couldn't possibly have seen the stars. That rundown shack is hardly a lodge, is it? And even the stars, if the stars could be seen, it isn't like I was there to look at them, right? See, you can do it if you try. Oh, shit! There's only one issue here. What you saw at Dusky Bridge. Crack on with it. Details, dude. I walked to the bridge a number of times, but... Wait. A number of times? How many? Maybe 5 times? I went once every 20 minutes. Which means you spent almost 2 hours at Heavenly Hall that night. You bet. Real love is about waiting with your heart in your hands. Love, you say? It was this man's intention to summon the defendant to the small shack, using this blackmail letter. Blackmail? I'm not sure how I feel about that. No! Ow! Frigging hell. Let me at least read, Von Karma, Jesus! You huffy-puffy, loosey-goosey excuse for a whimpering, whining wuss of a witness. Blah, 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 blah. I'm glad I don't drink. That would have been terrible. Never have been able to say that. So, what did you say? I hope for your sake you saw a snowmobile. You huffy-puffy, loosey-goosey excuse for a whimpering, whining wuss of a witness, eh? Well, you see, being called all those names doesn't seem to bother him at all. Nope. Didn't see a snowmobile. Larry, you really didn't see it? Hey, no need to hit your desk. I can hear you. I didn't see it. I didn't see a snowmobile. Larry, say snowmobile for me, please. Snowmobile. If you truly have nothing to hide, then why are you stammering like you just flew over a cuckoo's nest? Well, what is this? I don't know, don't ask me. Seems that I'll need to start from a more obvious contradiction. I'm going to strike the blow that will finally get him to spill the beans. Didn't see anyone at the bridge either. You didn't meet anyone? That's right, because I've got nothing to do with this. And I'm just here to buy some Viridian paint, okay? Come on, I expect to see those Crimson Lake faces now. It would appear that simply pressing him isn't going to be enough, Mr. Edgeworth, indeed. Seems he's going to claim to have nothing to do with this to the end. I don't want this guy to cost us any more time. I need to slice through his obvious contradictions and keep things moving along. So what is he contradicting then? I mean, we already kind of called that out. He was at the lodge in the mountains looking up at the stars all night. Walked to the bridge a number of times. He said about every 20 minutes. So about 5 times. So that's about 2 hours. So that means he started at 9-ish. So if at some point in that 20-minute gap, I mean, how long would it be? That might be enough time for him to have never seen a snowmobile, when you think about it, because the snowmobile... Sorry, I've just got hairs all over my face. The snowmobile didn't... Let's see. So we're thinking any time from about 10:30 to 11 o'clock is when the snowmobile left. That's a half-hour window for it to then come back. I mean, it could have left literally 5 minutes before the snow stopped, and the tracks got covered over, and came back just after the, just after 11, right? But I still think what's weird is the tracks seem to go over Phoenix's footprints. You don't see Phoenix's footprints in the tracks. So this came back at some point after 11. So that's when Phoenix ran out, or, like 5-10 past 11, when he ran out there to go get help. That is a pretty long window. So it's maybe not even possible that he saw the snowmobile, but how do we prove that? I'm pretty sure the snowmobile was there. He didn't see the snowmobile. Didn't see anyone at the bridge either. He looks very bashful there, doesn't he? Like, didn't see anybody. Could he have seen someone? I mean, I think he did. He said he saw something magnificent. Oh, hang on. Is it? Hang on, let me just save this. Is it this? He would have seen Phoenix. We know he was there. He was at the bridge when Phoenix fell. I mean, it's a petty contradiction to pick out. But he saw Phoenix.
Hold it.
Oh, hang on. That was the wrong button. Go through again. That might be the contradiction we're looking for. That's a petty one, but... Oh god, why does it have to be something so lame and shit with him? You know, it's always something lame. Larry Butts. I can understand why you might want to throw your old life away. You're pretty pathetic and you cause all sorts of trouble. I'm sorry. No, you're not. But having realized just how much of a nuisance you've been, that could be considered a step in the right direction. Edgy, are you trying to console me? It certainly doesn't sound that way to me. However, I cannot forgive you for simply turning away from the incidents you create. You're totally pinning this on me. Now then, let us talk about the night of the murder. Sister Bikini, after seeing the murder take place, asked Phoenix to report it. Thus he headed for the public phone by the bridge. There he happened across a certain nefarious individual. You, Larry Butts. That's right, me in the flesh. Listen carefully, witness. It doesn't matter if you changed your name, so long as you remain pretty pathetic, you will continue to cause these incidents. That reality will not change, eh? But what do you want me to do then? Larry, what you need to change is your inner self, but for now, what you saw that night, testifying truthfully about this one issue is all I need from you. Edgy, I think I've finally woken up. No, you haven't. Well, I guess I could still be sleeping. But anyway, I'll do it. I'll testify. Well, I'm not sure this will go especially well. I'll ask again then, witness. What did you see on the night of the murder? I went to the shack at around 9, so it would have to be around 10:30. Okay, so that would be about when supposedly Iris went there and relieved the sister so that she could come back, because she rang the bell at 10, and then about 10:30 would have been when Sister Bikini was on her way back. I was lying under my bedding when a white flash almost blinded me, so that would have been lightning. Then again, hang on. 10:30. Lightning from 10 to 11. Possible. I looked out the window and the dusky bridge was on fire. What, at 10:30? It was burning for over half an hour? There was still some thunder, but I went right away to check it out. That's when I ran into Nick. No, I don't think so. The murder didn't happen while 11. That's a big, big, big no. You certainly saw quite a lot, didn't you? So, what happened to the bridge after it caught fire? It was like me after a 3-day stint chasing a girl. I was totally burnt out. Like almost totally gone. I mean, trying to cross the burning remains? Was what caused Nick to fall. Well, what did you say? Oh, don't worry, it's nothing life-threatening. He just caught a cold. I never know with that man if he should be called lucky or unlucky. Was she concerned for Phoenix? Aw. Now, Mr. Edgeworth, please commence your cross-examination, eh? We're leaning in on the Canadian part hard here. Very badly as well. Went to the shack around 9, around 10:30, things happened. What did you do out there in the cold for an hour and a half? Within reason, don't tell us if it's something filthy. Well, if you really must know, I was busy being excited, I guess. That sounds filthy. Stop it. Excited? Dare I even ask? No, Judge, don't. I set the meeting time as 10 PM, right? But I couldn't wait, and I thought she might come early too. Well, it appears she didn't come at all in the end. Because they never arranged to meet in the first place, did they? Shut up, don't go picking my fond memories apart. Anyway, I was getting a little worried. I thought maybe Iris had lost her way. Yeah, because it's so easy to get lost there. So, every 20 minutes or so I went out to the bridge. But I didn't see anything particularly suspicious. I didn't have anything else to do, so I went back to the shack to wait for her. Lying under the bedding when a white flash almost blinded me. So he's claiming this was the lightning. This light was, of course, lightning. Like kapow! Like a slap from Naomi. Honestly, a big bada boom. Big bada boom? Ow! Damn. Or a little like that. Wow, that's more like a punch from Miranda. Witness, did you actually see the lightning hit the bridge? Well, I was a bit startled by the flash of light, so... looked out the window and the dusky bridge was on fire. Seeing that, what did you do? What do you think? I was burning up I was burning up as well, from the fire in my heart. Oh, damn it, Larry. Please just stop. And that's why you went to take a look at the bridge? Well, to be honest, it was freezing cold, so at first I thought, forget it. I'm not leaving my covers. But it had pretty much stopped snowing, so I don't know, I changed my mind. It didn't stop snowing for another 20 minutes. He's confused about the time here. He thinks it was 10:30, it was probably close to 11. Because there's no way that bridge was still burning so fiercely enough for but in one piece enough for Phoenix to try to cross. Half an hour later. No, even 40 minutes later. I'm not sure I care for the forget-it attitude you had at first, Witness. There was still some thunder, but I went right away to check it out. Oh, no, stop pressing things, Matt. Told me about the bridge yesterday, but there's still something that doesn't quite fit. Looks like, despite his change of heart, Larry still isn't telling the whole truth. Okay. Went right away to check it out. You said right away, but exactly how long after the strike was that? The lightning fell and then the bridge caught fire, maybe around 5 minutes. So 10:35-ish, according to him. I mean, I suddenly thought, gotta check this out. How far is the small shack you were in from the bridge? Hold on. Well, it had pretty much stopped snowing, I guess around 5 minutes walk. And how did Dusky Bridge look when you got there? Like I'd recovered a piece of my childhood. I mean, not even the bonfires kids make during school camping trips can compare. Should I press him a little more? Why didn't you call anyone? Larry, let me ask you one thing. What is it, Edgy? What's with the serious face? Why didn't you call anyone? Huh? What do you mean? Normally, when faced with a towering inferno, one would try to tell someone. There is a public phone right next to the Dusky Bridge, correct? Well, of course I thought of doing that. So let's hear why you didn't, huh? Yeah, okay, a reason, my reason. It isn't that I didn't try to tell anyone, I just didn't have time to, okay? Really highly doubt that. Let me try the other one and see what that says. Okay. Get to the point where we can ask another thing. Why did you go to the bridge? So you suddenly thought to check out the bridge. Does this mean that you initially had no intention of doing so? Well, yeah, I guess it does. It was really cold, I didn't want to go out there. If that's the case, why did you change your mind? I would like to hear your reasoning. Sounds a little out of point. In which case, please give the testimony to reflect that witness. My reason? Okay, reasoning is... I thought I'd never get to see something so big burning. That's changed the last statement from bit where he says he ran into Nick.
Hold it!
So you decided to go and see what was happening? That's right. We're talking about a massive suspension bridge burning to high heaven. That's not something you see every day. A real special. Hey, junior high, that's all he's got. That's as far as he went. It shows. Can we really trust a witness who is unable to pronounce spectacle? Life seems to love hitting this poor witness below the belt. Well, my motto is to hit life back as hard as I can. Shit. I'll give you a few hits too, if you like, with my whip. You told me about the burning bridge yesterday, but there's still something that doesn't quite fit here. Looks like, despite the language, blah blah blah. I think it's not that then. That doesn't seem...
Hold it!
Let's change that back. Okay, let's just read this again as well. You said right, I'm pretty sure this is the bit we need to focus on. Because the timing of this is so off. You said right away, how long after the strike? The lightning came down, he says that was 10:30-ish. The bridge caught fire. About 5 minutes later, he was supposedly decided to go and check it out, and that's another 5-minute walk. So that'll bring it up to 20 to 11, which is still... I mean, it's within the thunder window. Oh, lightning struck the Dusky Bridge at 10:45, around 30 minutes passed between the fire starting and going out. So this still doesn't come up to the time when lightning should have struck. He says he got there and saw Phoenix pretty much instantly. Like, he arrived at the same time as Phoenix, 10:45. Or 10:40, sorry, by his reckoning. But yeah, the lightning didn't strike till 10:45. Lightning fell, the bridge caught fire, 5 minutes later. Suddenly thought, gotta go check this out. How far is it? It pretty much stopped snowing, which is bullshit as well. I guess about 5-minute walk. And how did the Dusky Bridge look when you got there? Like it had recovered a piece of my childhood. Not even the bonfires at children's trips can compare. So let's go with the call anybody again. He didn't call anybody because he just got there at the same time as Phoenix. Just with the serious face, why didn't you call anyone? What do you mean? Normally when faced with the towering phone, you'll call someone, there's a payphone there. Thought of doing that. Let's hear why you didn't. My reason. Didn't try to tell anyone, I just didn't have time to, okay? He arrived at the bridge and Nick showed up less than a minute later. So that's why he didn't try. So do we need to press... It's probably this one we need to press present on, right? Because this is the one where he's saying it was literally a minute later. And it's going to be the weather statement, I bet. Because it doesn't jive with this. If he saw a lightning strike at 10:30, which doesn't jive with this anyway, and then it took him from that happening to 10 minutes to actually get the bridge, he's still 5 minutes before they actually said the lightning struck. And we know that the murder didn't happen till 11, so Phoenix wouldn't have even been there for 20 minutes. 15 at a push. 20 minutes probably. Let's save it just in case. A warm day today, the PC could crash at any minute, you know.
Objection!
Your very existence being a contradiction. I'm not sure if you can grasp that or not. What the hey, Edgy? You make me sound like some sort of alien. But your testimony is conclusively contradictory. The problem here is time. I've never been the best timekeeper, you know. 3 minutes after Billy leaves on foot, you follow him on your bicycle. How long does it take for you to catch up with him? Terrible at those. This is much more simple. You saw the lightning strike at the Dusky Bridge and immediately went to see what happened, is that correct? Yeah, well, I wasted about 5 minutes first, but more or less. I have the weather data from the night of the murder here. According to this, the lightning fell at 10:45. You say it takes less than 5 minutes from the shack to the Dusky Bridge, meaning you probably got there around 11 PM. What? No, he said it was 10:30 when the thing happened, right? Oh, right, no, that's what he's saying, is when the lightning struck at yeah, that time he would have got there for about 11. And then Nick showed up and did his falling act. But earlier on he said the lightning struck at 10:30. That is impossible. What do you mean? 11 PM is when the murder occurred at Hazakura Temple. Thus, Wright's still there in the courtyard. Hang on, am I getting this wrong? I'm getting it right, but I'm getting it wrong. I'm sure he told us earlier that the lightning struck at 10:30. Didn't he? Shame we can't go back and look at the chat log. Alright, well, there's no way that Larry could have encountered him at the Dusky Bridge at that time. Ah, excuse me, I have an objection. You do. Edgy, how many times do I have to say this? I'm not Larry, I'm Larice doing them. Ow. It has not been proven that the murder occurred at 11 PM. The sister only said around 11, in which case it could have been earlier than that. Watch your footing there, Ms. Franziska von Karma. The slope ahead is slippery. But there is still no way that the Wright could have been at the Dusky Bridge at 11 PM. And why not? It's clearly written here in the weather data report. It took around 30 minutes for the bridge to burn out. Therefore, the bridge must have been burning until 11:15. Which means, what exactly? Wright did not see the bridge while it was being consumed by flames that night. In fact, he did not arrive on the scene until... Yeah, I mean, the fire had pretty much gone out by then. That's true, it wasn't a raging inferno. Until after the flames had died down. Larry? You arrived at the bridge at 11 PM, but Wright didn't make it there until at least 11:15. I suggest you stop hiding things and just tell us the whole truth. Now then, what happened during the 15 minutes? This is going to be something fantastic that he saw. I feel like I just got brutally woken up by the toilet splashback. Oh. Ew. I guess I was still... what? I didn't catch all of that. Shit. So there's a missing 15 minutes prior to Phoenix Wright. I hardly see as much of a problem. Yeah, not much of a problem at all. Really? The bridge is burning before your eyes and there's a phone right next to it. Why then did you not report the accident? Yes, witness, why didn't you? Why were you there simply to watch the bridge burn? Did you start the fire? And therein lies the problem, for even after the bridge had burnt out, he was still there. Staring into space, this witness didn't even attempt to fulfill his civic duty. That's what it sounds like. But this is Larry we're talking about, and even he is incapable of being so stupid. I don't know. Highly doubt that. Which means there has to be a reason for his inaction. Edgy. I think it's about time I got serious with you, dude. Just as I thought, you've been playing with us all this time. Listen, I'm going to tell you everything. Are you sure you want to hear it all? Oh god. Yes. I may really... Oh, Jesus. Then say it. Very well. I have a terribly bad feeling about this, however. Let's have the witness finally give us the whole truth. Again, for the third time. Now, for this 15-minute gap, what were you doing, witness? Missing 15 minutes. I'm a Doonin. I'm an artist. What do you think I was doing? Sketching in front of the bridge. I whipped up into a frenzy of art. The shock and awe that I was feeling, I transferred it all directly onto the page. Before I realised it, the flames had gone out and then he came up running. Wrathful Monk, thank you for the host, dude. How goes it? Good to see you, my friend. I suppose artists can be strange folk. That's right, I'm willing to sacrifice everything in order to draw the perfect sketch, including the truth from the sounds of it. Hay fever is a pain? Oh, dude, yeah. No good. Yep. Well, I hope you feel better. In the meantime, there's a shout out for Wrathful Monk, by the way. And he's an awesome dude. Go check him out, drop him a follow. Good friend of the channel. You'll like his stuff. He's a fun guy. Mr. Edgeworth, has this removed the last of your doubts? No, not at all, Your Honor. One very large doubt still remains. And what would that be? This is a surprisingly believable story, especially considering the source, so why did he think he needed to hide it from us until now? I intend to drag the reason out of him. You'll regret this, Edgy. I'm sure we will, but not for the reasons he's saying. Oh my god. Alright, so he was sketching. My name is Larice. Get it right. Mistakes like that will keep you from being popular with the ladies like I am. Huh? Just who exactly are you? I'm Larice Doonim, apprentice extraordinaire. That's what he calls himself in any case. That's his pen name, so to speak. Then you are an artist. Of course, I'm an artist, the real thing. Yet again, that's what he calls himself. Names mean nothing. There's only one issue I care to discuss. What were you doing? This is a very big issue indeed. Sketching in front of the bridge, whipped up into a frenzy of art. Sketching? The burning bridge? The burning bridge and everything that came with it. What came with it? You want to hear this from my lips, do you, Edgy? You'll regret this. The sketch of my... Ow! Jesus. 39 whippings now, that's just not right. Enough. Just take that ridiculous sketch of yours out already, witness. Okay, so he should have a sketch. What are you talking about? I don't know what you mean. Show us the drawing. What does indeed appear to be the fastest... Oh, that does indeed appear to be the fastest solution. I'll leave it to you, Mr. Edgeworth. What should I do? But a terrible feeling that the instant this sketch is revealed, the entire world may be changed for what is depicted there. Look at it anyway. Look at the sketch. Show me. Larry, I wonder if you could show us your sketch, please. Well, well. Even I couldn't have imagined it'd turn out like this. It's been so dramatic. Imagine what? That Larice Doonan's debut would take place here today like this. It's an absolute piece of art, bruh. Show it now. Okay, but steel yourself. This... Wow. Whoa. What? Surely that's going to be him, like... Yeah, that's going to be him just like, you know, drawing any old shit in there, right? This is the world of Larice Doonan. Ah! Well... I gotta admit, though, that the colouring work on this is pretty fucking sweet. So this is the Dusky Bridge, correct? Quite a large bridge, isn't it? Your response, Miss Von Karma? Yes, well... It a better drawing than I expected. Me too. I'm like, I was expecting something really basic. Isn't it? Isn't it? I struggled to reproduce those flames, I really did. Yes, I'm sure you did. This is going to get ugly. That's actually pretty freaking good. I'd buy that and put it on my wall, if I'm honest. No one has the courage to bring it up, it seems. This mysterious flying object. Larry. What? The burning bridge is fine, but what's that unfortunate looking figure? Ah, you spotted that. I thought you might. However much I might want to ignore it, I can't. It's Iris, of course. What? Iris? I wish she'd taken better care of herself. We have to plan for our future, you know. What would have happened to her if she had injured herself flying like that? What? Larry, please answer this next question honestly. This is getting freaking weird now. Okay. Are you really claiming to have seen this? Are you claiming to have seen the silhouette of the defendant flying over the bridge that was engulfed in flames? Yep, that's what I saw. That's why I drew it. I'm an artist, a real artist. Are you high? The girl, she's really high up in this picture. Nice, Judge. Oh, Jesus Christ. What was that for? This is all a bad dream. I was hitting you on the cheek to test that theory. Please, whip your own cheek from now on if you wish to test your wild theories. Anyway, no court of law will ever acknowledge that people can fly. This is not the first time we've had this. It was a statue the last time. If you remember the circus top one, the big top, with the Maximilian Galactica and his mysterious flying tricks. And it was just the bust that was being hoisted up on a rope. That's the clown saw flying away. That was pretty good. I'm not sure that's going to be the case this time. Actually, there's some precedent for this. She was flying pretty high, my sweet Iris. She was about 30 feet above the bridge at least. It was really something to see. This has to be some kind of mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, please bring the witness back down to earth. What? Me? Don't look at me. I'm not responsible for this man. This witness is your friend, is he not? No. Accessory to foolishness. Miles Edgeworth. Oh my god. Let us get back to the cross-examination, by force if necessary. Mr. Edgeworth, I expect you to expose the obvious contradiction here. Yes, Your Honor. Looks like I've got another reason to remember this moron. Well, what do you think about my debut piece? It's actually pretty fucking good. Get that thing away from me. Larry's sketch added to the court record. Now hurry up and cross-examine him. Let's get this foolishness over with. Sketching in front. I saw Iris flying, her white hood fluttering. There it is. She didn't have her hood on. This has already come up once before. She didn't have her hood. She gave it to Phoenix. As a gift. Just where did you see this sight from? Hey, no need to shout. When I was lying in bed in that rundown shack, the crack of the lightning bolt made me realize the bridge was burning. I just watched it for a while from there, thinking how nicely it was burning. Then after about 5 minutes, I saw it. So around about 10:02, came back. Now we're getting on track with the timeline for when the snow had stopped. The defendant flying? That's right. That's when I decided to go to the bridge. I see, that all makes sense. Aside from the sketch itself. Yes, the sketch doesn't make any sense. I just need to convince the artist that his work is ludicrous. The shock and awe that I was feeling, I transferred it directly onto the page. We're going to press everything, but that's obviously the contradictory statement, that last one. You transferred everything directly onto the page, and that's this sketch here. Yep. Sensational, isn't it? Or should it be scandalous? Neither, actually. It put my mind at ease anyway. It did. That's right. There's a reason she didn't come to me, even though I waited for her. Yeah, but it's not what you think, Larry. Or because she was trapped on the other side of the bridge. Could it be that Iris undertook that dangerous, desperate flight in order to reach me? That's gotta be it. Alright, go me. Ow! No, because if that was the case, then she would have actually come to you. Continue, please. Before he realised that the flames had gone out and then he came running up, that would be Phoenix, I guess. You forgot the passage of time to that extent, did you? Well, once I get caught up in something, I tend to forget everything else. That's true, he always has been that way. I guess he's not lying about that, at least. Phoenix Wright appeared at the scene at 11:15. If he was drawing until then, that dispels all doubts. Aside from doubts of his humanity, eh? There's a big clue waiting for me in this cross-examination. This testimony does nothing less than mock the court. But I'm sure that there is a vital kernel of truth hidden in it somewhere. Alright, well, I'm not even going to save it because I'm so confident. It's going to be the hood. He couldn't see her with her hood because she didn't have her hood. But the Iris that apparently showed up that the Sister Bikini met at the shrine across the bridge did have a hood on as well. And then the Iris she saw doing the stabbing had a hood on as well. So we've got an imposter here. It's Dahlia. Oh, it's Dahlia. Oh yes. Larry, what did you really see that night? Not that I particularly care. In your position, that's being irresponsible. I drew exactly what I saw. I'll give you a whole $1. That it's the truth. If that is truly the case, then there's one thing that we can say for certain. What might that be, eh? The person who flew over the bridge could not have been the defendant Iris. Well, what do you mean? I don't understand. Oh, Jesus. I feel every single one of those whip snaps. A foolhardy folly of a foolish sentiment, a foolish statement by an equally foolish, foolhardy fool. Fool. Darlanor! What's up, dude? Exactly how can you make this claim? Tell us, Larry, according to this picture, the individual whom you say you saw was wearing a hood, correct? Of course she was. That rundown shack is quite away from the bridge. The hood is what told me that's my floating angel I saw was my Iris. The hood is my darling Iris. And Iris is my darling hood. Yes, please whip him for that. That was terrible. It seems there are bigger fools in this world than the one in the defense bench. Larry, there's something we need you to be made aware of. On the night of the murder, Iris wasn't wearing her hood. She had given it to Wright as a gift. Are you going to change your story now? Perhaps suggest it was Wright who took the flight? The flight of Wright. What are you talking about? I think you understand what I mean just fine. Why? Why did Nick have Iris's hood? Not the issue. What? Edgy, what's going on with Iris and Nick? Why, you Nick! You dog! Oh! I do believe that this unbelievably mysterious sketch is destined to disappear, discredited and discarded, straight into the garbage. Huh. Now what is it, witness? It feels like I've been waiting 25 years for this very day to come. Edgy, today is the day I get to completely stupefy you. Oh my god, he's gonna go all Harry Potter on us? What the hell? Alright, what? What is the meaning of your outburst, witness? I hate to have to do this, but I have some definitive evidence. Definitive evidence? Iris did indeed come flying over the burning bridge, and I, Larice Dunham, shall prove it. I didn't expect to ask this again, but we shall be needing your testimony once again. Tell us anything you know concerning the defendant as depicted in this sketch, and show us your evidence that this nightmare was actually a reality. Okay, but I hope you're ready, Edgy, because I'm going to feed you a whopping serving of pain. You've been serving us a whopping serving of pain this whole time, trust me. Proof that she flew. This is going to be good. When I reached the Dusky Bridge, she was already gone. I was so worried, so I frantically searched all over for her. I thought you were sketching. That led to me finding a beautiful crystal sphere, half buried in snow and covered in blood. Oh, this is from Elisa's staff. So it was gone before she was even stabbed. It wasn't taken after she was killed. It was taken before. I'm sure that Iris was simply wearing a spare hood. No, that's not possible. We've already determined that she wouldn't have had access to them. After all, no one else could have lost a crystal sphere that night. That's the statement we need to contradict. We need to present the staff, or the picture, maybe, of Elise with the crystal sphere look. Because there isn't one on the staff. I think... we don't see the staff in the photo here, so yeah. That one there? So that must be the statement that we're supposed to press. A crystal sphere. This one, pretty isn't it? But finders keepers. That sphere, where did you find it? Let me see, around here somewhere. Looks about right. And it was half buried in the snow. It had pretty much stopped snowing by then. There was still some falling as I walked to the bridge. Which again is true. The court accepts this crystal sphere. That's mine, okay? I want it back afterwards. There's something on it. Oh my, it's blood. So why would there be blood on it? If she hadn't been murdered at that point, there wouldn't have been blood on it, surely. Whose blood is it? What? Blood? Because if all this happened before 11 o'clock... or around 11 o'clock at the very least. But the murder didn't happen until 11. Unless she was killed way before. And then the stabbing was staged for Sister Bikini's benefit. Frame Iris. Interesting. You ready, Edgy? By tomorrow morning, you'll be calling me Master Larry. Never gonna happen. Yeah, I like the sound of that. No one's going to push me around anymore. Oh, I don't know. Didn't you want to be called Larice Dunham only a few minutes ago? Alright, she was already gone. So, you went to the burning bridge. That's right, to meet Iris. She actually flew to get to me. The least I could do was meet her halfway. But the defendant was not at the bridge when you got there, you say. I guess she went back to the Hazakura temple. She's a girl after all, she must have wanted to look her best. Must be lovely to live in the fantasy land of Larry's mind. Actually, it's so depressing I can't even work up the energy to point. So, what did you do next? Frantically searched all over for her. So you searched all over for her? She was flying pretty high, you know. I thought maybe she slipped on her landing and got hurt. Hey, it was more than possible. Also, when I headed out to the shack the first time, I was snacking on a banana. That's right, he was leaving banana peels everywhere. Gumshoe slipped on a couple of them. I was pretty sure I threw the peel away somewhere around there, so, you know. Can one guy really be this stupid? So did you find any signs of her so-called landing? I don't really remember. I kept on falling over myself and kind of lost it for a while there. You fell over yourself? Yeah, the snow was deep and there was even banana peels out there. God damn it, dude. Yep, there's stupid and then there's Larry Butts. The short of it is that you didn't find any signs of her landing, correct? Then what happened next? Found the crystal sphere. Half buried. It was sitting in the snow with a little gathered on top of it. It was very hard to spot, actually. I mean, it was dark out too. I'm impressed you did well to find it. This is true. No matter what you may think when you look at me, I'm a pro, a genius security guard. I used a pen light I borrowed from my company to help in my search. Oh, you're totally going to give it back one day, right? Yeah. And it sparkled really brightly as if it was saying, "Here I am," to me. It does indeed look very much like the crystal sphere on Iris's hood. Yeah, okay, so that was pointed out on the last time we streamed this, when we were looking at Sister Bikini, that crystal sphere on the hood. But obviously that must be part of their regular uniform anyway. We were wondering if that was like where it was. It seemed very brazen to be wearing it, you know, in court. But need I remind you that she was not wearing her hood that night? She was wearing another one. Each nun is assigned their own hood and they are only assigned one. I don't know anything about that, okay? And Iris is special, alright, dude? Even if she did steal a spare hood, I'd forgive her. This is getting us nowhere, our destination for the day, it seems. However, this crystal sphere was found near the bridge. That is a fact. If it didn't come from the hood, where could it have come from? That's the question I aim to answer. No one else could have lost a spare one that night. Let me confirm this one last time, Larry. The reason you thought this was Iris are the hood and the crystal sphere, correct? That's right. My gut is never wrong. I met that old bikini the next morning. And her crystal sphere was still there, safe and sound. Indeed. She was wearing it on this very room, in this very room earlier today. This case isn't going to end without a fight. Exposing the obvious contradictions in this testimony will be easy, but I fear that all that awaits us are further mysteries. Oh my god. Guys. Elise died in a fall. Oh my god. If this is Elise's sphere, what if she actually fell? How would she have been up in the sky to begin with? What the hell was this? But what if that was Elise? Did you come in at a good time, Freya? It's always a good time for you to come in, and it always gets better when you come in. What if it was Elise in the air, not... And she was wearing a hood, though. She doesn't wear a hood, does she? She fell after death, though. The autopsy said the cause of death was the stab wound. No, it's the other way around, isn't it? I thought that the cause of death was fall and the stab was post-mortem. Oh, no, cause of death, loss of stab, and that body fell after death. Yes, you're right. Okay, never mind me then. I thought I had an idea for a moment. You love hearing my theories. Yes. Especially when they're super wrong. Just like that. Let's move on, shall we? That's a dumb idea. Of course she didn't fall from the sky. But this is her crystal sphere. No one else could have lost a crystal sphere that night. We know this much. We need to present... I'm guessing the photo. Because look, there's the crystal sphere. But this all happened about 5-10 minutes before the murder. According to Larry. Or even half an hour. 15 minutes before the murder. Sorry, because he said he looked up and saw her flying over the bridge when the lightning flash caught his eye and he looked up at the bridge. That's when he saw it. So this is well before the supposed murder. That's really weird. What if the whole staff was stolen? And maybe Elise went looking for it. And it only has her fingerprints on it, so I guess not. But anyway, yeah, a photo of Elise. We'll present this. Can't wait for me to work it out, it's pretty clever. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Larry, that night, there was someone who lost a crystal sphere. There was. Who? Who was this stupid idiot? Miss Elise Dunham. The mentor to a stupid idiot. Victim? I have a photo here of her. And on the end of her staff, you can see a familiar looking crystal sphere. Hey! That's my photograph. Give it back. No. Ow! Jesus Christ. A crystal sphere like that is quite easy to find. I have one just like it on my brooch. They look nothing alike. In any case, please take a look at this. This is the victim's staff found at the scene of the crime. Ah, the crystal sphere. It's gone. What? Nani? What? What? Ah! Ah! Just what does this mean? If anyone jumped or flew across that bridge that night, it certainly was not Iris after all. She was not wearing her hood. More importantly, the crystal sphere found at the landing site was not hers either. I mean, that just goes by default because it wasn't her hood. That means the one who flew and dropped the sphere was the victim, Miss Elise Dunham. Oh god, she's getting whip happy again. A fool alongside another fool on a fool's errand to reach a foolish conclusion. Fool. Ah, pity you, fool. God, I really need to have gotten the Mr. T soundbite by now. I should have twigged onto this years ago. First of all, this sketch, which I prefer to call a scribble, is ridiculous. That is a really good picture. I will have you know, Miss Von Karma. That's pretty frigging good. People cannot fly, thus it is rejected. You can't do that. I saw it. Oh, bloody hell. Wait, And this crystal sphere. This is nothing more than a red herring. No, it's a crystal sphere. That's red blood. You honestly believe that? Give it some thought and I'm sure you'll realise it's as well, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, Miles Edgeworth, rather. Elise Dunham was in her room on the night of the murder. You just noticed something you won't say, but it's genius? Okay. There was no reason for her to go to the Dusky Bridge. Therefore, this sphere cannot be related to this case, that is all. Ms. Franziska von Karma, the only people who will accept this explanation are scatterbrains and clowns. Why are you pointing at me? For example's sake, of course. The victim's crystal sphere was found near the bridge on the night of the murder. Yet you expect us to believe this has nothing to do with the case. That crystal sphere was probably thrown away at the bridge after the murder. Nuh-uh, this was like 15 minutes before murder. After the murder? There's blood on the crystal sphere, isn't there? This naturally suggests it was thrown away after the murder took place. The killer placed it there to throw the investigators off the scent. which is the exact same reason that he drew that ridiculous sketch. What? You mean I'm the killer? Oh god, no! Ah! All joking aside, just when did the crystal sphere appear near the foot of the bridge? Unless this can be proven in some way, I refuse to believe that this is related to the case. He makes a valid point. There's no evidence that Elise Dunham left Hazakura Temple that night. However, if somehow the crystal sphere can be proven to have been dropped before the victim was killed, then this case is going to transform into something else entirely. Your response, Mr. Edgeworth. I want your final opinion on the disposition of this crystal sphere. It's warm today, guys. The computer's running a bit hot. We're always saving, just in case. You never know what's going to happen. So, if it's not related to the case, then this witness who you called will have been nothing more than a monumental waste of time. Prepare yourselves for some very appropriate punishment, Miles Edgeworth. My body is ready. Can I prove it? Can I prove the crystal sphere was dropped before the murder took place? Can we? It's half covered in snow. Oh god, yeah. This is half covered in snow, which according to the weather data means that the snow stopped at 10:50. This had to have been dropped just around that time, 10:50. And if we take Larry's statement as read, 10:45 the lightning struck and he looked up at the bridge and saw it burning. He laid there watching it and then he saw, supposedly, Iris flying overhead, and then when he went up there he found the thing, but it takes him about 5 minutes to get there. So he said he wasted about 5 minutes before he took off. We know he took off then around about 10:50, which is when he would have seen Iris. Supposedly, he would have seen somebody flying overhead, or so he thinks. So that sphere had to have been dropped at that point, 10:50. The murder took place at 11. This is, you know, as far as the evidence goes, as it is, you know. So the other thing we've proven was that the crime photo, yeah, that's right, there's no snow on her. She would have had some snow on her if she was killed before 10:50 or on or around that time, which means she was definitely killed after 10:50, possibly up to 11. This was part of the last thing, if I remember. We were trying to prove when the time frame actually occurred, when it was 11 o'clock. That was without a doubt. So maybe we present either one of these. It's gonna be the crystal, I think. Can I prove it? That isn't the issue. To simply prove it, that's the only option. That's what he'd do. There's the fact that the sphere was covered in snow, yet Bikini said the murder happened around 11. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's what I was just saying. You know, because if the murder happened around 11, and then there was a dispute to that, I think, in Bikini's testimony that it might have happened before, and we proved it wasn't because the body didn't have any snow on it, and at 10:50 the snow stopped. So we like definitely had to have happened at about 11, but this orb has snow on it. That means it was dropped before 10:50 or around that time, which is tracking with what Larry's told us in his timeline. So yeah, the sphere is what we use to prove that it was dropped before she was killed. We know she was killed at 11. We know the sphere was dropped on or around 10:50 or just before, because there's still a little bit of snow left. It didn't stop until about 10:50, give or take a minute or two. That's the way Phoenix Wright would do this. Your Honor, allow me to prove something to you. I will prove that this crystal sphere is a vital link to solving the case. You will do what? That look in your eyes, you remind me of Phoenix Wright when he's concerned, or when he's cornered. That should come as no surprise, because right now I am Phoenix Wright and I am indeed cornered. I order you to present your evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Evidence that proves that the crystal sphere was indeed dropped before the murder. Is the sphere the fact that it says half covered in snow? Yes! The crystal sphere. It was half buried in the snow, correct? That's right. If it hadn't stopped snowing, then it would have been game over. The snow would have totally covered it. That's all I need to hear from you, Larry. Your testimony makes one thing quite clear. What? When the crystal sphere was dropped, it was snowing, even if it was ever so slightly. Snowing? On the other hand, let us look at the scene of the murder. As proven earlier today, there is no snow on the victim's body. Ah. Therefore, the crystal sphere must have been dropped before the murder. What? Yes! Order! Order! On the night of the murder, the victim did indeed go to Dusky Bridge, and there, something occurred that caused the staff's crystal sphere to come loose. What could that have been? This sphere, there's some blood on it, isn't there? Allow me to raise a certain possibility at this junction. The real crime scene was near the foot of Dusky Bridge, and then the snowmobile was used to bring the body back. The murder didn't take place at Hazakura Temple courtyard? Only a fool would suggest such a foolish piece of absolute foolishness. Just who is the fool, and which part is so foolish, Ms. Von Karma? Have you been paying any attention this whole time, Mr. Edgeworth? The sister saw everything. She saw the victim being killed by the defendant in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. That's not exactly true now, is it? To put it more precisely, what she saw was the murder weapon being removed from the victim's body. That's the same thing. No, it isn't. You said it yourself. What if the murder occurred on the bridge and then, of course, now it's burned down, it's gotten rid of the blood? Very little blood is actually lost at the moment of the blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body, that would be when the blade is removed. If that statement is the truth, then the Dusky Bridge could very easily be the scene of the murder. The murder weapon was not removed, thus there was no bleeding. You are forgetting one vital thing, Mr. Edgeworth. Elise Dunham's body was found at Hazakura Temple. On foot it takes 15 minutes to travel from Dusky Bridge to Hazakura Temple. You mean to suggest someone carried the body all that way? No, not at all. They used the snowmobile. I've made it this far, the only place to take this is to the end. I just need to prove that my version of events is perfectly plausible. Now then, if the defense is ready, the court would like to have an explanation. Please show the method by which the victim's body was carried to Hazakura Temple. This is going to be the picture of the snowmobile. Yeah, there it is. That's the right one. Bam! Boom! Take that. On that snowy night, there is only one way the body could have been moved. The snowmobile. As we know, the snowmobile was used that night. It was explained as having been used to dispose of the murder weapon, but it could have also been used to carry a body. Bring it back to pose it and being stabbed by the statue to create a mystical murder. Oh god. Ow. This is completely unacceptable, Miles Edgeworth. You've dug yourself into your own grave. What do you mean? The only one who could have used the snowmobile was the defendant. She's the one who moved the body. Doesn't that put the final nail in your coffin? You're too late, Franziska von Karma. And in fact, the defense has proven something else entirely. We have shown that this case requires further investigation. What? Where was the victim Elise Dunham really killed? If her body was moved, whatever for? And finally, just what does this image mean? Ow. 50 whippings? Damn! Do you even need to think about that? Such a creature could never see the truth, let alone describe it. This witness certainly sits on one of the lowest possible branches of humanity. Oh, come on, Edgy. However, he would never utter a lie that could hurt a girl with whom he is enamored. He drew this, so it is something that actually happened. The defense stands firm on this point. Edgy, thank you. That settles it then. I cannot give a verdict under these circumstances. Oh my god, right? I seem to have fulfilled my part in this. It is just as I thought. Franziska von Karma, you make a wonderful partner. Excuse me? There was one reason and one alone for me being here. To expose the darkness lurking in this case and pass it on to Wright. Really? That's what this was all about? You could have just told me that from the very beginning. Then I wouldn't have had to... Oh, Jesus. Miles Edgeworth, I don't care what you were here to do. This is my chance to finally grind you under my heel. A shame that your chance seems to have slipped by you. What a shame. Oh, Franzi! This is all your fault. Such a terrible witness. You are an affront. Ow, 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 oh god, oh god. I'm just gonna put like... Oh, Jesus. No, 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 no. Mercy. I'm just gonna put one more envelope. There we go. I don't know how many that was. I lost count. It sounded like 10 or 11 of them. I cannot believe that the witness's testimony relates to an actual event. However, there has to be some sort of answer for this question it raises. Have his words here today been truth or lies? Next time we gather in this courtroom, those are the matters that shall be addressed. I am counting on thorough investigations by both the defense and the prosecution. And with this, the rest is up to you, right? Court is now adjourned. Hehe. Cool. Oof. Nice. Okay, so this must be where Wright's recovering. Oh, this is for... Oh, right, yeah, okay, so this obviously is when he starts reading up on the Dahlia Hawthorne case, the Hawthorne murder. This was the scenes we got of him at the start and at the end where he's sat in what looks like a hotel room with the drip on a bag and all that shit. I'm still up at this hour reading through the trial record of a certain case. It's the first case that my mentor, Mia Fey, had ever handled in a court of law. The horrifying truth that I refuse to accept is holding me hostage here within its pages. Dahlia Hawthorne. What have I read? What I have read, I don't want to believe. A hotel room? That's a great hotel that has medical staff. No, I meant hospital, sorry. Did I say hotel? I meant hospital. They begin with H. You stay there for the night sometimes, so yeah. If I said hotel, I meant hospital. My brain is in a weird place today. I did say it. Yeah. Okay, I meant hospital. Welcome to dyslexia. What is written here? This isn't the Dahlia I knew. After falling into Eagle River, I was somehow miraculously saved, but I ended up catching a cold that seemed to knock me around the world and back. I feel dizzy, my ears are ringing, my throat burns, and my head is on fire. But I will recover. I have to recover by this afternoon. I have to meet with the most ill-tempered witness imaginable. But I know that he will be able to help me with him somehow. Yeah, that's it. It does sound like hypothermia, not just, you know... He's not just got a cold there.